Welcome, it's Dome, and welcome to this crypto update. Now, from my last video, I said that 89K could be the bottom where we have the bounce to the upside, and actually we did not go as low, but we did break this low here, which I was expecting as well. So we had a bounce from $95,400, but we haven't gone to 89K at least yet. It is still possible, but it seems unlikely that we go that far. And by the way, this is a very, very nice area to have a bounce, because this means that this support line here has actually been intact. So this makes me a little bit more bullish, and seeing whales basically jump in on the action during this time here, that was very, very cool to see. If you don't know what I was meaning by whales getting into action, there's a new indicator that I recently started using, which is called the cumulative delta volume, and you can get it for free on tradingview.com. And what this does, I will go to the 15-minute time frame. This tracks the total amount of market buy orders for the buy side and also on the sell side. So whenever there are market orders on the buy side, this chart goes to the upside, and when there's market sell orders, this actually dumps to the downside. And practically what this does, it tells you what retail investors are doing, because retail investors mostly use market buy orders and market sell orders. They don't use limit orders as often as big whales and so on and so forth. So this is practically the retail investor tool to track what retail investors are doing. And when I saw this, I posted this on X and on my Discord as well. This is most likely the bottom already. We saw retail investors selling here, so we had a lower low on the chart here, but at the same time we had a higher low on the actual chart, which told me that whales have bought this low here. So whales are very happy to get in on the action at this price level here. So this is practically now the support level, which is very, very hard to break to the downside, because this is where the whales got in on the action. So this is quite nice to see. And right now, when we take a look at the chart here, simply you can see that we have broken through this short-term trend line to the downside already. So now we're just practically finding an area where we'll have the bounce. Personally, I do like to just make it very, very simple. So when I see a trend line like this, about halfway is where usually you would have a bounce. So like $95,000 right now, that would be a perfect area for new entries if you have missed this move here, in my opinion. So anyway, that's in the short term, but overall in the long term, I think we are still bullish. We have been supported by this trend line for quite a while already, and Donald Trump will take office in just 17 days from now, and he has promised to give us Bitcoin strategic reserve. And when he finally announces that, that will start the crypto bull run, the last phase of the bull run, like I shared in previous updates. Now for this video, I don't have any specific news to share. There really hasn't been anything too crazy going on lately. Most of the news came at the end of the year, and at the beginning of the year we haven't really got any news whatsoever. So it's a little bit darkness on that front, but that's completely fine. We are sure to get more news quite soon. For sure, when people start buying Bitcoin and companies start accumulating more Bitcoin once again. Anyway, that's it for the chart here. Now let me show you the fundamentals where we are at. First off, let me show you what the ETFs have been doing. So ETFs, unfortunately, as you can see here, have absolutely been selling here for the last 2 weeks. We had one green day of inflows into Bitcoin ETFs, but this tracker here only tracks the United States Bitcoin spot ETFs. So this is a little bit misleading, because this does not track all of the ETFs, all of the Bitcoin funds across the globe. For that, you will need to use bold.report website. And on this website here, you can actually see that the last week of 2024, there was actually accumulation into Bitcoin ETFs globally. So when we take into account not only United States, but we take into account Switzerland, Canada, Sweden, Hong Kong, all of the different Bitcoin funds across the globe, there was actually an inflow into Bitcoin ETFs. So even though it seemed like the investors were dumping, that was not actually happening in real life. So that was also very, very nice to see. But now in the short term, when we go and take a look at the order book flow here, we'll take a look at the aggregated order book liquidity delta. What I really like to see is on 30th of December, we saw this massive amount of limit orders enter into the order books. And right now we have had that rally to the upside. But as you can see, even at this low here, there are more sell orders at the moment than there are buy orders. So this signals to me that the bottom is not yet in. So I think we will see that 95K, which I showed you before, but I will be monitoring the situation here and see where I can find good entries once again. I did close some of my longs already, but on altcoins, I will just keep them open because most of the altcoins have just dumped completely. So I'm waiting for the bounce backs from those, which at least on the ones that I made positions on, they haven't bounced aggressively to the upside yet, enough for me to take any profits out. So all in all, this is the situation with order book liquidity delta chart. And when we take a look at the liquidation heat map on the 2-week chart for Bitcoin, you can see that there's a lot of shorting liquidity above $100,000 price level. So this is where there's a lot of liquidity, as well as just above the current price range. You do see quite a bit of short liquidity here that could get liquidated quite fast. But before that, we do need to get some momentum first. We need to probably go a little bit lower before we can go higher once again. There's obviously quite a bit of liquidations here below the current low that we saw here, but like I told you before, this is where a lot of the whales actually got into Bitcoin, so it will be hard to break this low here. So that's why I do not think these will be liquidated at least anytime soon. Obviously, I could be wrong here, but this is the situation with the shorting and longing liquidity there. Now, before I go back to the chart, let me show you sentiment. There's something interesting here on this tool as well. And this is, by the way, you can access this for free, but there's a paid version as well. If you do decide to use the paid version, make sure to use my affiliate link, which is somewhere in the description. Sentiment is very generous to let me use this tool here and show some of the insights that I found from this tool here as well. So first off, when we take a look at the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges, you can see that throughout this dump here, more Bitcoin has actually left exchanges, even though there was this dumping going on. This is fundamentally very good because it shows that there's demand for Bitcoin. People want to take Bitcoin out of exchanges, put it into private wallets or somewhere else. But anyway, when Bitcoin is taken out of exchanges, I do think that is fundamentally bullish. Maybe some of the money, some of the Bitcoin that leaves exchanges goes into Bitcoin ETFs. I don't have a way to verify that, but this may not be as bullish chart as it may look like on the first glance. So just keep that in mind. But all in all, I do like when this is going down. If this goes up, it means people deposit Bitcoin into exchanges, and that means that most likely they want to sell Bitcoin. So that's not what we want to see on this chart here. We do not want to see deposits going into exchanges. Funding rates are fine, nothing interesting here. But here's a little bit worrying signal. When we take a look at the stablecoin market cap, you can see that this actually peaked here at the middle of December. And right now you can see that we have started to decline on the amount of stablecoins on the market. So this needs to turn around quickly because when stablecoins are not being minted, that usually tells us that there's just not a lot of demand for crypto assets as a whole or crypto as a whole. So this is very, very cool indicator to look at. You can see that practically from November 5th, this is when Donald Trump took office, we started to see a lot of stablecoin mints all throughout the markets, but right now this has stagnated completely, and that can be seen in the what crypto assets are doing right now as well. So this is obviously not what we want to see. When we start seeing this go to the upside once again, that's most likely when we will start to have serious breakouts on altcoins and Bitcoin as well. If we do see that, obviously, that's not a guarantee. Then this is another worrying signal here. So throughout this time, even though Bitcoin is leaving exchanges, at the same time, old wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 3 years, wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 1 year, and even newer wallets that have held Bitcoin for more than 90 days, we are still seeing spikes here, meaning that people are taking profits who have held Bitcoin for quite a while. They are moving their Bitcoin once again. So we do not want this activity. We want this to basically be as little as possible, because that is fundamentally bullish. When they want to just hold their Bitcoin, they don't want to use it, transfer it, that usually means that they are expecting higher prices. But at this moment here, this is a little bit worrying as well. Now, finally, I don't know, maybe I will touch on this one here as well. So when we take a look at the Bitcoin supply distribution, this shows us on which wallet sizes Bitcoin has been distributed. So for example, I have 1 to 100 Bitcoin holders. They are currently holding, what is the orange number, 32.29% of the Bitcoin supply is held by wallets that have 1 to 100 Bitcoin. This has started to go a little bit to the upside, which is very, very nice to see. That means that these, they are not whales. I don't know if they are even dolphins, but these, let's say, average Bitcoin users, maybe not average, but let's say a little bit wealthier Bitcoin users, they have started to accumulate a little bit here, which is quite nice to see. At least they've stopped their dumping of their Bitcoin assets that they've done throughout this move to the upside here. And at the same time, we are seeing the 100 to 1000 Bitcoin wallets, they have stopped accumulating their Bitcoin here as well. And some people told me that these many of these wallets are actually the Bitcoin ETFs, because they want to distribute their Bitcoin across multiple wallets, and their wallet sizes are basically below 1000 Bitcoin. So most likely when we saw this accumulation here, this was Bitcoin ETFs accumulating their Bitcoin holdings here during this time. At the same time, the blue line here, these are your big whales, 1000 to 10,000 Bitcoin holders. They were dumping at the peak here, but now, as you can see, they've started to accumulate a little bit once again at the bottom. Maybe they are just short-term trading, who knows, maybe they are expecting higher prices. But at least, as you can see, if you just take a snapshot from the peak until now, almost everybody is just going sideways here. Not a lot of activity between wallet sizes. So hopefully we will see a maybe this 100 to 1000 Bitcoin holders start to buy once again. That would probably signal that Bitcoin ETFs are buying. But as of now, it's just a lot of sideways movement for now. So people are waiting for something to happen. I don't know what it is, but I do believe that when Donald Trump takes office, that's when the fundamentals of the market change once again. And my prediction, $155,000 by February, or by the end of February, that still stands. So that's what I'm expecting in the, let's say, medium term. But 2025, I do expect a major, massive market crash in Q2 or Q3, or maybe even Q4 of next year. But most likely, what I'm betting on is Q2, or between Q2 and 3, somewhere there, maybe May 2025, we will see a massive market crash. That's my expectation there. So whatever you're doing here, if you have made profits, consider taking some of them out before the markets crash, because when that markets really start to crash, that's most likely going to be too late for you to lock in those sweet profits if you made any. And as of now, I'm just waiting for a small pullback and then a continuation. If we see a bigger move, to the downside, that is obviously still possible. Maybe to like 90k, and then we shoot back to the upside. That would be similar what we saw here before. So let me go zoom a little bit back. So this is a very similar setup that we're currently seeing here, that we actually saw during this time here as well. So as you can see here, you can see that we were basically hovering above this line here. Then we actually went below the line quickly, made a local bottom here, and then we started shooting to the upside once again. And the chart basically is almost identical to what we are currently seeing here. So I would still not be too surprised even if we somehow dip below even this green line here, go to that $89,000 price, which I said in the previous video, and then we should upwards. I think that's still a possibility. So a brief move below this current trend line here is still very possible, just to basically take out the remaining liquidity that people have their stop losses on, all these things, and then we shoot upwards from there. But who knows? This is just technical analysis, doesn't mean that this is gospel. So at least as of now, I am bullish in the medium term, but in the short term, I am a little bit bearish because we do need to find that bottom before we see buyers basically flocking back into the market. The limit order amounts at these price levels is just completely fallen out of the charts, as you can see here. We do need more buying, and the buying will come when the price goes lower, in my opinion. Anyway, that's it for this market update. I hope you got some value out of this one. If you want to trade with leverage, if you want to trade with spot, if you want to use trading bots, copy trading, all these things, personally I use bybit.com for my leverage trading, and with the code denome you get 10% discount for your first 30 days. You're eligible for up to $30,000 in welcome rewards, and as of now, for the next 73 days, you are also eligible for 500 USDT position airdrop as long as you use my affiliate link and you click this register to claim button here. You deposit some money onto Bybit, do the tasks, and then you are eligible for this bonus reward as well. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.